Waldron. Welcome back to another Black Muse. Tonight's guest is businessman Norman Bolden. He owns four successful businesses on the south side of Chicago. One, Room 43, I call that the party room. Then he opened up an upscale restaurant, Norman's Bistro, also on East 43rd Street, which, by the way, is where we always have our annual Johnson Publishing Company reunion every summer. And then he moves on down the street again to a Haven Entertainment, concert venue. Uh, and then most recently, he opened Norman's on the Lake at Rainbow Beach. There's a lot going on. But let's get started. Let's get to know this extraordinary brother, Norman Bolden. Hey, Norman,
Well,
how are you?
hey, thanks so very much for having me. I'm grateful to be a part of your platform. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for being here. But listen, let's start at the very beginning. What inspired you to open four businesses on the south side of Chicago? What was that all about?
Well, the initial vision was one business, and out of my travel experiences, I got this urge to want to bring um, sit down dining at the very least to the community which I grew up in, which is Kenwood, Oakland, right here on 43rd Street. And there was not at that time a sit down restaurant within all of Kenwood or Kenwood, Oakland proper. And so through my international travels and having all these experiences, I said, I believe I can present that same caliber of dining experience in my own neighborhood. So hence I got this vision to create Normans, right? Well, in the midst of planning that, there was some political turbulence. So Normans had to be put on hold. And I went down the street and developed Room 43 in the intro. And so the aspiration of Room 43 sort of came out of honestly nowhere. The intention was to have that space operate as commercial space. And let me also say that Room 43 was my father's TV repair and record shop from the 60s. So this is legacy, right? And as I'm completing the construction of Room 43, one of my neighbors stopped by and said, Norman, someone is looking for a space to host an event. I think this would be a great space to do such. I said, okay, well, I'm prepared to entertain that. And she said, well, we have to have someone to come in from New York to see the space. I said, well, what kind of event is this going to be, right? Well, it turns out that it was a national campaign that was spearheaded by Smirnoff. And they selected a space in Atlanta, New York, and Chicago. Would you believe that space, which is now Room 43, was selected, and that was the impetus of Room 43.
Wow.
And that's been 20 years ago.
Yes. Yes.
So we're
Yes.
still standing 20 years later. I'm so grateful.
Yes, indeed. Okay. So now, did you still hold birthday parties there and wedding receptions and all that?
Yes, as I tell all prospective clients, we host any and all things that are legal. We won't.
Oh, ooh, y'all. Okay.
So yes, we have many life celebrations, birthday celebrations, wedding receptions, etc.
Right. Okay. Now let's move on down the street to the abandoned building on the corner of East 43rd Street. That became Norman's Bistro. Talk about that for a minute.
Well, yes. So again, as I said, that was my initial vision to
Right.
Room Norman's rather, and that that was a long time vision. However, we were able to make it come to life in 20 October 2010. But not only was I developing Norman's, I had acquired the entire block. So there's 7 other retail spaces there.
I did not know that.
So yeah, yeah.
Oh
So
my
we
God.
developed the entire block. But Norman's, I just wanted a space for our community to come and engage and be social and be treated well. And so we've, I believe we've accomplished that in that we have, well, October of this past month, we celebrated our 15th year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Norman's, of course, is a restaurant, full service restaurant that offers American Creole cuisine. We're most noted for our lobster, shrimp, and chicken gumbo. So come
Yep.
on by and try some.
Delicious. I've had it. Yep. Yep. Yes, indeed. All right. So how did you know that an upscale restaurant would fit into 43rd Street?
It wasn't even but actually of kind of knowing, but I thought we deserved it.
Mm,
And I was of the mindset that I know if I place it there, and like pull together an exceptional team and an amazing kitchen, that it will work. And by the grace of God, it did. That we're still here 15 years later.
right, right, right. And now, then again, here we go again. You have the Haven Entertainment Center, a concert venue, also on East 43rd Street. What,
Yes.
tell us about that?
So Haven is at 932 East 43rd Street. And the original usage of that building was the Shakespeare Theater.
Hmm,
And I remember walking past that building as a kid, um, never ever thinking that I would be in the space to acquire it and repurpose it. So it went from the Shakespeare Theater to a church, and from that usage to Haven. So Haven, I think it was during the pandemic, in fact, when we opened. That was not the best time, but I pressed forward with a vision, and we were able to curate the small assembly concert venue that we utilize for private events, as well as public events, and of course, concerts. It's a smaller assembly space that accommodates upwards to 300 people, according to the city of Chicago.
okay.
And it's a beautiful venue, and it has been well received by this community and persons surrounding the Kimball Oakland community. I've been very, very, very blessed and grateful that the concept is working.
You have Norman's on the Lake at Rainbow Beach in the South Shore community. What inspired that one?
So let me tell you that story. Oh my God. A friend of mine approached me and said, Norman, there's an RFP out for the Rainbow Beach. They want to build a deck there, and I think you would be a great person to spearhead such. And I'm thinking, oh no, I cannot take another project, and more importantly, I can't deal with the city of Chicago again right now, so I just can't do it. And I passed on it, and for whatever reason, no one was selected. And the RFP came out again. And they reached out to me. I said, I'm going to take a stab at it. I said, the last thing I need is another job, but let me put my best foot forward. So I came up with the design concept, um, submitted it, and could not believe got the phone call. And they said, you have been selected. You've got to be kidding.
Oh
So I
God.
had to lean in and make it happen. And it was no easy task by any means getting that project done. So we built a 4,800 square foot deck on the sand at Rainbow Beach. And it is absolutely beautiful. It has truly enhanced the beach experience at Rainbow Beach. Um, it has been so well received by the South Shore community as well as the surrounding communities. So it's a beautiful, beautiful edifice.
Mm. For those who don't know, what streets would be Rainbow Beach?
Okay, so Rainbow Beach is well, the technical address is 3111 East 77th Street. Now, the only entrance to Rainbow Beach is at 79th in Fairfield. So you would enter 79th, turn left, and just take that sprawling drive down to the beach at 77th. There's ample parking. There's more than 500 parking spaces, so it's plenty of parking. And the beach is located directly in front of the concession, so it's not very difficult to find.
Okay, got it, got it.
Beautiful.
Now, yeah. Now, what's on the menu at Norman's on the Lake? Same as
So,
the bistro, or no?
no, we thought we would offer a different sort of experience. So this past summer, what we did was we featured smoked products. We had smoked ribs, smoked tips, brisket, pulled pork. We give you
Mm-hmm.
a corn on the cob experience, beans, wonderful coleslaw, in addition to your standards of hamburgers and some hot dogs. But the rib experience or the smoke experience was so well received that we will bring it back next year and actually offer some of those offerings at Norman's on 43rd Street off season.
Got it, got it. Now, before all this got started, your career was at WGCI in the mailroom.
Well, let
Describe that climb because you went in the mailroom to sales. Describe that whole climb for me.
it truly was an amazing, amazing experience. It was literally from the mailroom to the boardroom experience.
Mm,
I was a 17-year-old kid, was offered a position by way of the Cedar program. I don't know, do you remember Cedar program?
no, by then I was in Jersey back in those days.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
the Cedar
yeah.
program, it truly was it was a program that offered underserved communities or folk in underserved communities opportunities to work. So at that time, I was being paid $3.20 an hour, working
Mm,
4 days, no, 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. And WGCI had started this Car to Gold program. So my assignment was to well, people would send in their application, and I would, open envelopes and stuff the new car to goal in the self-addressed envelope and send it back. So it was a big deal, right? 17 years old. Um, and in addition, I was the mailroom boy and messenger. So I was preparing to graduate in June, but my intention was to head to Atlanta to attend college. Marv Dyson said, Norman, if you agree to go to school here, we will pay your tuition.
ooh.
They supplied me with a brand new two-tone blue 1981 Chevrolet from Ruby Chevrolet. I'm like,
Okay now.
I'm telling you, so now I'm 18 now. And
Right.
that was like living the life of rally to have a brand new car, to have the station paying my college tuition, um, and to be paid $10,500 a year. My parents said, "You will stay here and be the best mailroom boy ever." Right?
Okay.
So, so out of that experience came some other opportunities. So I was mailroom boy messenger for maybe a year or so, and then there was an opportunity in the marketing department. So I worked along Riley Davis in marketing. Then from there, I moved into traffic and continuity. That's the department that sort of inputs the orders that salespeople have gone out and made, and developed commercials. And so I got to in between working in marketing and working in traffic and continuity. I got a sense of how the sales situation worked. So I said, well, I started looking in that direction.
Mm, mm, mm,
And so an opportunity presented itself, and Marv Dyson allowed me to move into that space as a junior rep. And I said, with that opportunity being given to me, Mr. Dyson and Velma Brazel said, I owe you all to succeed. And let me tell you, there was no looking back. I
mm,
think in, was it 87? I was named Account Executive of the Year for all of Gannett. Okay.
mm,
So,
mm,
so
mm.
I didn't look back. So when I tell you about a mailroom experience to the boardroom, that is truly what it became. I became the one of the highest performing account executives in all of the station. Uh, it turned out to be a 25-year career.
Amazing. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that, so as I was approaching 40 years old, I said, it's time to go. I can't do this anymore. That is when I looked to circle back to 43rd Street, my stomping grounds, and
Oh,
that's where I began to develop Norman's Room 43, Haven, etc.
yeah. When you look back at it, who inspired you? Who were your role models, either during this period or before?
Well, primarily my parents. My mother, she had just instilled such values and drive, but also my father, who was a Chicago fireman, and then he was operating the Royal Flush TV Repair Shop, which is now Room 43. And I recall one afternoon, my father saying to me as he was standing in front of what was Royal Flush TV Repair Record Shop, it's now Room 43. There's this light pole that stands in front of the building, and it reminds me of him so much. 'Cause he's leaning on this light pole, and he says to me, Norman, this area is going to change, and don't you sell. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that was like a heavy burden because at that time, there was no value down here. No one wanted to be on 43rd Street. You
Right,
know,
right,
I mean, you could buy the whole block for probably $30,000.
right.
And as I began to start developing and the city started coming for me and under the auspices of eminent domain and et cetera, I go, oh no, 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 no. It's
Mm,
those very words that my father instilled
Could you try again?
in me saying, hey, again, the area is going to change and don't you sell. I am so grateful that I listened to my father.
yeah, yeah, yes, indeed, yes,
Mhm.
indeed. You also attended North Eastern Illinois University. What was your major back then?
Education, it was with it in hopes of becoming a teacher. Not one day have I worked in that arena. The radio changed my whole trajectory.
Okay,
That
okay,
experience was just invaluable.
right, right.
Mhm.
Now, you're also on the board of Near North Health Services and CoMed Health Center, which is right there on 43rd Street, isn't it?
Right, directly across the street from Room
Yeah,
43 is
yeah.
the CoMed Health Center. Yeah, Near North is the parent company of CoMed, and there are 11 other sites throughout the city.
Right, right.
Mhm.
So tell me about that experience because you're on the board now. So how is that? What is that? What does that mean?
And it's been amazing being a part of growing a community health center. When I initially started with the board, we had maybe two sites. There was near North proper, and at just off of a division, and there was CoMed. We've seen this institution grow to have sites on the west side, on the far north side, at 48th and Cottage Grove. They're housed in schools. So to be a part of having grown such an institution has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And you're also a community activist. I know there's several groups that you've supported, celebrated through the years. Can you name a few of those?
Oh, there are too many.
All right,
I
a
mean,
few of them, a few.
it's been well. I've been aligned with King College Prep. I think which is one of the more amazing uh, public schools in the city. Um, King College Prep is a selected enrollment school that many people weren't aware of, and in fact, their principal was just named the Golden Apple Award winner last year.
Hmm.
So engaging with King and seeing that institution or that structure go from what was a general or neighborhood school to one of the premier selected enrollments has been everything for me.
Yeah,
um, so there, then I've engaged with some social orders, the Chicago Assembly. I've done work with Urban League. hmm, that's the primarily, of course, CoMed, as we talked about, or near
yeah,
the north.
yes.
Hmm,
So several,
that's the
several.
primary focus. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then again, along the way, you received several honors, including the Chicago Defender Man of Excellence Award and Who's Who of Black America, I believe. So
hmm
talk about those moments for you.
Well, in fact, actually, well, recently, I was just named or awarded the phenomenal Men Award from Mary Green, who hosts of course, Women's Expo. So that
Yes.
was quite an honor. It was absolutely, I was really surprised. So, there, and then of course, then you talk about the Chicago Defender Men of Excellence. It was quite an honor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, well, I tend to be fairly modest about my accomplishments. So,
Nope. You have to speak up.
you know,
Tell people,
I tend,
celebrate yourself.
y- you know, I'm of the mindset that my actions, I prefer to folk to see my walk, rather than me talk about what accomplishments. And it's a great opportunity to have a platform to do such. Um, but I'd rather let people see my work, as they say. So yeah, have I been honored too many times?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you're very modest because every award is very well deserved. An award is people's way of saying we think that you're great. We want to celebrate you. So,
And it's always greatly appreciated, but I'm very modest about talking about
yeah.
it.
Okay. Um, our time is almost up here. I can't believe this. Let's talk about legacy. Let's
Mhm.
talk about legacy, Norman. What will your legacy be like? Have you ever thought about it? Would it be a community activist? Would it be a restaurant owner, Norman's bistro guy? How would you like to be remembered as years go by?
I would hope that folk would remember me as one that has uh, worked to engage, to grow a community. Um, again, I just say I'm not that braggadocious person to say, "Oh, I want to be remembered as." I just want folk to remember that I was very intentional in the work that I've done, and that the work that I've done has not been self-serving, but more so for the greater good. Because hospitality is no easy task. You have to be very passionate and love what you're doing to do it. And I do all that I do with the mindset of the greater good and not Norman Bolden.
I love that. I love that. Anything else do you want to share? Anything else on your mind today? Anything else before we close?
No, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity to share my story. And I know that many people have had perceptions of my story because I've heard many versions of my story.
Uh-oh.
You
Uh-oh.
know, and I go, okay. But I hope that folks take an opportunity to um, engage in this experience to say, wow, we've gotten to see and gotten to know Norman Bolden. There you
Absolutely.
have it.
Yes.
No, which is so funny. My mentor, Marv Dyson, who happens to be calling me now, right?
Oh, okay.
Do you know Marv Dyson, right?
No. Oh,
So
yes.
let me just speak a little bit about Marv Dyson then. And then Thelma Brazelton, who's vice president of WGCI, who actually just recently passed last week. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
yes, Thelma Brazelton passed on it, and may God
Oh,
rest
I'm
her
sorry.
soul.
Wow.
Those two individuals, talking about making an impact on a young man, a young Southside kid, coming from nowhere. The two of them, Marv and Velma Brazelton, they embraced me so and just loved on me and to the point that I said I owe them to succeed. And every day I worked tirelessly to ensure that I never disappointed those two.
Wow. I
I
love
owe
it.
them.
I love it. I love it. Okay. But listen, before we go, I got to do a quick commercial, a quick shout out, if you will, out to Howard Sandifer and his wife, Darlene Sandifer. They are the founders of the Chicago West Community Music Center. And this podcast is their idea. They said, let's have lively conversations with newsmakers like Norman Bolden. So here we are today. Here we are today. So thank you to them. Also, for the viewers, please click like and subscribe. We've got to get our numbers up. So please do your part. Do me a favor, click like and subscribe. And I'll see you next week. Thank you, Norman.
No, thank you so very much.
All right.